"No, Grandma!" shouted the eldest grandson, his voice full of anger. "You are nothing but a burden to us. We can't feed you any more." "Yes," added the younger one, folding his arms. "You are old and weak. You do nothing but sit and complain. We don't need you in this house." The old woman, bent with age, with white hair falling over her face, looked at them with eyes full of tears. Her lips trembled. "My children," she whispered softly, "I gave you life. I carried you on my back when you were small. How can you throw me away now?" But the grandchildren did not listen. They grabbed her small bundle of clothes, pushed her out of the house, and slammed the door behind her. The village wind blew against her wrinkled face, and she stumbled down the dusty path, her heart heavy with pain. That night she found an abandoned hut at the edge of the village. It was broken, with holes in the roof, but it gave her a little shelter. She lit a small fire with the dry sticks she collected and sat alone. "They have forgotten who I am," she whispered to the flames. "But one day they will know." In the house, the grandchildren laughed. They were happy to be free of her. "Now the food will be enough for us. Now we don't have to hear her stories or her advice." But soon their laughter began to fade. Strange things started to happen. The next morning, the eldest grandson went to the field to cut firewood. But when he lifted his axe, the handle snapped in half. He tried another, and it broke too. "Strange," he muttered, scratching his head. That same day, the younger grandson went to the river to fetch water. But the rope on his bucket slipped, and the bucket disappeared into the deep water. He returned home empty-handed. Day after day, nothing worked for them. Their goats grew sick, their chickens stopped laying eggs, and the little food they cooked tasted bitter. "What is happening to us?" cried the younger grandson. "It is as if bad luck has entered our house." "It cannot be our fault," said the elder. "Maybe someone has cursed us." But the neighbors shook their heads. "No one cursed you," one woman said. "Do you not see? You threw out the very person who blessed your home. An old woman is not a burden. She is a blessing. Your grandmother carried wisdom in her heart, and now you have lost it." But the brothers refused to listen. They grew angry at anyone who spoke well of their grandmother. But secretly, at night, they began to fear. They heard whispers in the wind, and dreams of their grandmother's face visited them. Meanwhile, in her little hut at the edge of the village, the grandmother lived simply. She ate wild fruits, shared food with children who had nothing, and told them stories by the fire. And soon people began to gather around her hut every evening. She told tales of courage, of kindness, of patience. And slowly, the villagers started to call her the wise one of the edge. One night, a traveler came to the village. He was a wealthy merchant with many camels, gold, and fine cloth. He asked the villagers, "Who here is the wisest among you? I need advice before I continue my journey." Everyone pointed to the little hut at the edge of the village. "Go to the old woman," they said. "Her words are like cool water on a hot day." The merchant entered her hut, bowed, and sat before her fire. "Mother," he said, "I have riches, but I do not know where to build my home. Should I stay by the sea, or should I go to the mountains? What is the right path?" The grandmother listened carefully. Then she spoke. "A man who builds by the sea may gain wealth from ships, but one storm can sweep it away. A man who builds on the mountain may live strong, but his heart will become hard like stone. Build where people's hearts are soft. Build where kindness is greater than gold." The merchant's eyes lit up. He stood and bowed deeply. "Your wisdom is greater than all my wealth. From this day you are my mother too, and everything I own I will share with you." The next morning the merchant announced to the whole village, "This old woman has guided me. She is the true treasure. To her I give gifts of food, cloth, and gold, and anyone who honors her will share in my blessings." The villagers danced with joy. But when the grandchildren heard this news, their mouths fell open. They rushed to her hut, ashamed and trembling. "Grandmother," they cried, kneeling before her, "forgive us, we were blind. We called you a burden, but you are our blessing. Please come back to our house." The grandmother looked at them with calm eyes. For a long time she was silent. Then she said, "My children, you pushed me away when I was weak. You forgot that an old woman is like the root of a tree. Cut the root and the tree will wither. But I am not angry. I will not return to your house, for my home is here now with those who listened when you did not." The grandchildren wept, but the grandmother only placed her hand on their heads and said, "Remember this, wealth may fade, strength may fade, but respect never fades. If you forget respect, you lose everything." From that day on, the grandchildren lived with regret. Their fields never gave as much harvest as before, and their hearts carried the shadow of shame. But the grandmother's hut at the edge of the village became a place of light, where children learned stories and travelers found wisdom. And so the people remembered her words. The old ones are not a burden. They are the fire that warms the village. To throw them away is to throw away your own blessing.